So you just downloaded EVE Online and you want to make some ISK. I don't blame you. When you start out, you don't got very much. Well, we're going to show you how to go into the T0 Abyss. That's the base one. If you're a day one alpha, you're going to be able to do this. So if you're just starting your journey into this fantastic universe we call home, and you want the best ways to fly your ships effectively, you came to the right place. Ladies and gentlemen, Loru here, digital advertiser, content creator, and EVE enjoyer for the better part of 10 years now, and that makes me qualified to show you how to fly T0 Abyss. Now, this is meant to be flown day one, but not hour one. You are going to have to get a couple skills to get into the ship. Now, I'm going to assume you know nothing about the game, so we're going to over-explain. So if you've been to the channel before and you've seen us kind of gloss over stuff because I assume the Omegas know what the heck they're talking about, that's not this video. I'm going to make sure the new bros know exactly what they need. So this ship is called the Corax. You can find this by clicking the search bar at the top left-hand side of your screen and type it in Corax. From there, when you press enter, you're going to see some search results here. Let's minimize the characters with Corax in his name and go to the ship. Now you're going to right-click it, simulate it, and from there you can add in various modules using this hardware section right here. Throw stuff in, start experimenting, but instead of making the fit all by yourself and you don't know what the heck all these items do, you're going to go into the pinned comment of this video and you're going to copy this fit out of the pinned comment. From there, you're going to come back into the game, press Alt F. That's going to open up this fitting window here. You're going to click this button right here in the bottom left corner of your fitting window. You're going to click it, press Import from Clipboard. Now, when you do that, if you've done things correctly, you should see this fitting window pop up with all the modules and ammo that we've listed out in the pinned comment for you. Now, you can save this for later. Once you do that, you're going to see the skills you need pop up right here. This section of the fitting window shows what skills you need to fly the ship, the modules, the ammo, everything you have listed out here. You can get any skills you're missing from the market. That's this button right here. Type it in, get a price, keep on going. Once you buy those skills, you can queue them up by clicking this guy here. It should take you maybe a couple hours to get into this fit exactly, but once you are, the money's going to start flowing. Now, assuming you're a day one, the game does give you a couple ships to start off in. They give you a Heron and a Venture. You can make the money to go buy the skill books you need by mining in the Venture. We have a full guide on that. Or you can go exploring in your Heron. So now that you've scrounged together some pennies and you've bought the ship and all the things, let's explain this for you. So first of all, why the Corax? Well, when you just start out, you don't really have a lot of skills. And see, every ship has innate traits that they get. Now, the Corax's traits really help the new bros out. So with that being said, let's dive into the fit. Now, in the highs, you're going to be running 7 of the R-Blast light missile launchers. Just load them up, baby. This is one of the reasons we're starting with destroyers. You do get a lot of DPS right out of the gate. Gotta make those mobs go boom. Now, the mids are where all of your utility comes in, and you're going to see a lot of their names are strange and long. Small, something, regolith, compact. All these key terms are going to be pretty common for day one or week one new bros. These kinds of modules with these special words in their name are easier to fly, meaning they take up less CPU and less power grid of your ships. Now, here's a tip for you new bros on how to figure out what it is you can fly. When you're in your fitting window, you're going to go to simulate, and let's just remove this cap recharger for now. Let's say you have a spare mid slot and you're not sure what to put there. Well, you come over to these right here. Filter hull restrictions. You will only see items that can be flown on this hull. You don't want to waste time scrolling through items you can't even equip. The next thing you're going to do is mouse over this right here, and you're going to go to filter by remaining resources and click that. With those two checked, every single item you see is going to fit your ship and you'll be able to fly it. So when you're playing around with what you can or can't add to your ship, don't forget these 2 buttons. When I tell you I was playing EVE for literal years before I found out about that stuff. All that said, let's get back to the mids. We are going to be running a small shield booster. This is how you're going to heal yourself back up. The shield booster uses a lot of your capacitor. If you ever played World of Warcraft, and I did, this is your mana, your energy, all that stuff. So typically we're going to have the shield booster off. That way we're cap stable. All cap stable means is that we can have all these modules on and never run out of energy. We're going to show you how I balance my cap in a site later in the video. Next, we have a cap recharger. Like the name suggests, this lets you get your capacitor back faster. Next, to increase your tank, you're going to have a small shield extender. It doesn't increase your shield by a lot, but a little is a lot when you're a day one new bro. We're going to be using a micro warp drive here. The micro warp drives are faster than afterburners. Now, we want to go really fast in the ship. Because the faster we go, the harder it's going to be to hit us. Corax does not have a lot of space for the resists, so we have to use speed to our advantage here. We'll give you some live examples of this later in the video. The lows are super easy, 2 ballistic control systems, and all these are good for is just increasing your base damage of your missiles. Finally, for the rigs, we have a small bay loading accelerator. This also is going to increase your missile damage. And then 2 rigs that are going to help your shields. The core defense field extender is going to raise your base HP, and the EM shield reinforcer is really important. The Corax has 0% EM resists without this module. That's called an EM hole by the EVE veterans. You're going to want something protecting you from incoming damage. The Abyss throws a lot of different damage types at you. with this module, only 70% of that damage is going to be done to you. Do not sleep on this module. Now, as far as the ammo that you're going to use, you're going to bring a little bit of everything. Each one of these missiles is going to do a different damage type. Now, a really easy way to remember which is which, the color of the tip of the missiles is going to correspond to the damage it does, with red being the thermal, light blue being the EM, yellow being explosive, and this darker green is actually the kinetic. I'm going to show you how to pick which ammo when we actually go into the site. Now, let's talk about Filaments and Abyss for just a sec. Anything with Tranquil in its name is going to be T0, but you don't just want to go into any old Tranquil Abyss. Each one of these is going to have a word modifier that gives it an effect. For example, this one's dark, this one's gamma, exotic. Each one has a different negative and positive effect. You can see what those effects are by right-clicking the filament, going to show info, going to attributes, going to the abyssal environment and clicking this eye for info, and then it's going to tell you what you're going to face in that abyss. So in the dark abyss, we have a bonus to maximum velocity and a penalty to turret range. Now, we don't use turrets on this fit, so this means we're going to use dark filaments all day. The negative effect here doesn't affect us whatsoever. And we do go very fast, which if you remember, we're going to use to take less damage. So to sum up, the filaments you're going to be using more than others for this fit are the Tranquil Darks, the Tranquil Gammas, and if you have to, the Tranquil Exotics. Prioritize Gammas and Darks, that said. Now, before we get into a live example, we've got a special announcement for you. We are EVE partners on this channel, and that means I have skins to give away to you. And this is our first video ever talking to Alpha specifically, so we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to give some EVE skins away, but we're also going to be giving 10 of these ships away, fully fitted, ready to go, as my gift to the new bros of New Eden. All you have to do to enter the contest is 3 things. First, you got to be subscribed to the channel. My bot's going to know if you're not subbed, then you'll be disqualified. The second thing is you got to go in the comments below and type use code Loru. If you ever decide to get Omega, we have an affiliate code that lets you get the same stuff for cheaper, so make sure you check that out. Finally, you have to go into that same comment and put your in-game name. Do those 3 things, and you'll be entered to win. Now, one lucky winner is going to get a Scope Syndication skin valued at multiple hundreds of million ISK, and then 10 others are going to get the new bro ship. So if you're a new bro and you want the ship, put that in the comment too. Let's have that be the 4th thing that you do. Okay, generosity is one of the core tenets of this brand. And as of the recording of this video, we're just shy 7,400 subs. So thank you very much for helping us to grow as a brand. We're going to keep giving back as long as I'm doing this. This is going to be the first video in our Alpha Abyss series. We're going to take this all the way to the top of the Abyss. And my team and I are really paying attention to the amount of engagement that this video gets to see if this is something that y'all want more of. So make sure if you want more of these kind of videos, you like this video. Alpha stuff is new for me and I want to see what y'all think. And now let's go into the Abyss. We got the ship fully fitted. We got my ammo. We've made sure to insure the ship. If you're new, this is a must-have. You're going to lose ships. You got to make sure that stuff's good to go. Next, we're going to open up our map and we're going to find a 0.8 system. You can open up your map by pressing F10. You can't use filaments in 1.0 or 0.9 systems. 0.8s are really easy to find. You can mouse over these dots to see one. There's 1.8. Let's set our destination to there. Now we're going to exit our map and undock. Oh baby, T0 Abyss time. Now I'm going to taxi over to that spot and I'm going to fast forward to there. But my overview on the far right side of the screen, we've built one you can copy and paste. Here's how to do it. On the top left side of your screen, there's this search. You're going to type Lorimurth Sunstrider. That's my main's name. Press enter. Go to characters. Say hi to me for you. Go to show info. And in my bio, there's this overview right here. You're going to click that, press load. It's going to give you all these tabs. And we have a full guide on how to use the overview just popped up in the top right corner for you. I want to equip all you new bros to be able to just dive into New Eden and enjoy all the things. While you're at it, send me a mail saying that you're enjoying the overview. I want to get to know y'all. Now I'm going to fast forward to when we're actually inside of a safe spot. All right, so we're in the 0.8 system. You cannot do the Abyss any old place. You have to do it in a safe spot. To prevent gankers and the like, here's how to make a safe spot. You're going to press F9, which is going to open up your solar system map. Each one represents a point of interest in space, asteroid belts, stations, the sun, etc. We're going to pick something a little bit far. Let's pick this planet right here. We're going to right click, warp to within 100, and then we're going to press Control B, and we're going to get ready to press enter or submit. Now you're going to notice that as you warp, this cursor is going to start moving down here. We're going to press submit now. See how there's a little pin there? Now there's a spot in the middle of space that's in between from where you were to where you're going. You're going to right click on that safe spot and press warp to within 0. Now why go through all this? If you make a safe spot like this, gankers are going to have to scan you down with combat probes in order to find you. This is just another layer of security to make sure that you're playing EVE safely. You can access this location at any time by pressing L. This is going to open up your locations menu. Now we have to activate the filaments. It's a little wonky. You have to form a fleet with yourself. So I'm going to go to the chat window and right click my name, go to form fleet with. You just make a fleet with yourself. You can X this window out. You don't need it if you're alone. Now you can activate the abyssal filament. You're going to go into your inventory. Let's start with the Tranquil Dark. Right click it, use Tranquil Dark filament. Now the filaments have different costs depending on which ship you're bringing in. If you have a cruiser, it's going to take 1 filament. A destroyer, which this is, takes 2 filaments to go in, and frigates take 3. Click 2 destroyers, then press activate for fleet. You're going to notice the charge is gone, and some some glowing thing just popped up behind us. Move your camera to see this massive black hole thing. This freaked me out the first time I saw it. We actually have to click the abyssal trace in the center and click this activate gate. If you don't see this on your overview, you can right click this, overview visibility, add to tab, and there it is. Once you're within range, it's going to ask you to activate it again. Just to make sure you're ready, we're going to click activate. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Get you ready. All right, so I'm going to commentate this live so you can see how to get this done. Now the timer immediately starts going down. Now you have a 20-minute timer in every abyss to get in and then get out. If this timer hits 0, you lose everything. Pod, ship, the whole kit and caboodle. But you'll notice the mobs don't come at you yet. This gives you a sec to get your bearings, see what's up. So we have a loot cache that's right over there and a mob that's right here. There's the gate to get out. The gate opens when you kill all the mobs. So I'm going to inspect this mob and see what its resists are. Now the resists are the same across the board. Nothing really changes, so we don't have to change any ammo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start approaching this loot cache. We're going to turn on our micro warp drive. We're also going to lock onto this mob. We're going to send a single volley towards this loot cache, and then we're going to start targeting this lovely little mob right here. The mob cache is open. We're going to go to the loot tab, click it, and go to loot. Now we're en route to loot the cargo. Since we have this frigate targeted, we're going to get our missiles going. Please be faster than me. I am stressed, y'all. I'm commentating this at the same time. Once you get in range, the loot's going to pop up. You have to be quick. Press that loot all. It goes right into your inventory. One of the main things with the Abyss is that there's actually a barrier that if you go outside that bubble barrier, you're going to start dying. You die very fast. One of the ways that I try to get around this while still keeping up my speed is I orbit this transfer conduit at around 25k. You can see we just killed the frigate, by the way. So now we can move on to the next place. We click this, we go to approach. I'm now going to approach the target. I'm going to start healing myself up with my tank a little bit since we got a little low. Before we go into the next room, we're going to reload our missiles as well. We're healing up a little bit. I'm going to orbit this guy at 1,000 while I talk to y'all. You don't have to rush this. You can see that it took us just shy of 3 minutes with all the explaining doing. You're going to get good at this and be able to do one room per 1 to 2 minutes, especially when there's one mob like that. So in between rooms, if I have some extra time, what I like to do is top up our heals, top up our cap, and reload our missiles. Take your time with this. Watch this video a couple times, practice for yourself, and you're going to be right as rain. One of my favorite things about the Abyss is that it helps you to understand how Eve's played. You saw me right-clicking the ship, checking the resists, seeing if we have to change out the ammo, managing my cap by not using my shield right away, but using my speed, looting on the fly while I'm managing targets. This is what Eve is all about, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go into the next room. Oh, I like this. Oh, I like this. I like it a lot. All right, this next room is going to activate right away, so we have to get her going. We're going to have 2 frigates here. We're going to left-click one and then go to their info to see what their resists are. Now, I'm seeing that we don't have to switch out from the Inferno ammo because their thermal resist is right down the middle. That's totally fine. Let's just lock them up and get her done. Now, you'll notice the frigates just started doing damage to us. We're going so fast that it's difficult for them to hit us. Now that we have the loot, let's orbit our Triglavian conduit here, and let's keep poking this frigate. You're going to notice combat text in the center of your screen. Pay attention to this. You're going to see we're hitting this Spark Needle Boy for a lot, and they're missing us with some of their attacks. This is because of how fast we are going. If it's working, ladies and gentlemen, you've got the loot, you've killed the frigates, let's jump to the next one. Now, we didn't lose a lot of HP there, so I'm just going to reload, get a little bit of shield back, and then jump on in. Now, there are 3 rooms in every single Abyss, and here comes the final room. If you follow what we've been saying, you're going to do just fine. Right-click the mobs, show info, check their resists, choose the appropriate ammo, go nice and fast, orbit the conduit, get the loot. Let's see how we do. Alrighty, this final room does have a big boy. We have an FELTs. Now, this is a cruiser. His resists are fine. We don't have to change any ammo, but he is going to be nice and tanky. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this loot, and we're just going to start poking him as soon as possible. Now, you want to use your shield sooner than later. All right, we got our loot. Now we're going to orbit our conduit here. And while we're taking out this cruiser, let's have a conversation about capacitor. Now, in EVE Online, when you're below 30% capacitor, you gain more cap back than normal. So what that means is that you need to be healing with your shield booster so that you go down to under 30%. When you're under 30% capacitor, turn your shield booster off. If you get in the habit of doing this, you're going to be optimizing your cap recharge rate. It's not 100% necessary all the time, but when you're fighting those big cruisers, it is something you have to watch out for. That guy fell super fast because we were able to do good DPS with good speed. And look at this, we finished all 3 rooms at 12 minutes. So let's chill in here while I talk to y'all about some stuff. Let's go into our cargo to see what we got. This is the main sellable loot, and in a single Abyss, we got 1.4 million ISK. That pays for more than half the ship in one run. Now, if you keep doing this and you get really good at this, you're going to make between 9 and 13 million an hour. This is incredible for a day 1 new bro. And mind you, we're not even counting the filaments that we got. We can sell the extras too. We can also get some blueprints. So just to sum up, balance your cap around 30%. Make sure you're topping up your shields and your ammo in between rooms. Activate your micro warp drive and orbit this conduit at the very center. This will ensure you don't go out of bounds. Make sure you start every single room by getting the loot and then focusing down the mobs. Now, once you're done with the Abyss, warp out and the loot is yours. So now you've done your Abyss, you've got your loot, and you want to sell your stuff. We got a full guide right here on how I make all my money. This applies to new bros and CEOs alike, so make sure you don't miss that value. We got a bunch of EVE guides for you right here, so make sure you check that out. Thanks again, everybody. We'll see you in the next video.